Bob Ichino from Path Trading Partners along with Mike Arnold for a quick commodity path chat. I ranted a little bit on some of the silliness in commodity analysis that we see in the equity update, and I probably should have saved it for this, but I'm not going to bore you with it. Gold is falling off and kind of trading back in its inverse correlation with the dollar and with the equity markets. You can see that this is a gold chart on your screen, and we had a pretty decent size fall today. Silver following gold, Mike will touch on those. Copper to me is the interesting one because copper again continues with their supply concerns, which if you listen to our last video, you will kind of chuckle at what I think of the supply concerns. But the Escondido mine strike in Chile, which again is the largest copper mine in the world, talks broke down at the end of the week, so the strike continues. We also have Freeport-McMoRan's Grasberg mine in Indonesia, adding to these supply concerns, and by that I mean a shortage of copper supply, in the face of a potentially growing industrial sector in the U.S. through fiscal spending, as well as throughout the globe with a potential economic recovery. But that Grasberg mine is still waiting on an export license from Indonesia, which it hasn't gotten yet. Instead, if it doesn't get it by mid-month, they will shut down production. Now, those two mines combined account for about 8% of copper production. So when you think about that, that's a very, very large supply disruption if you're measuring it in terms of the amount of copper, especially in the face of potential better economic fundamentals on the industrial side. So let me turn it over to Mike to, again, review the only thing we can be 100% sure of, which is the price action.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bob. So gold's up on the chart. We had our targets at a significant level, which it rallied up to. Now it's pulled back. We have our rising rotation zone and prior major support. We also have a rising trend line. So there's lots of support coming in this area that we'll be watching for. If we rotate back up, we have an overhead trend line now in place, where if we get above that, then the first target is back at this significant level, around the 1247 to 1250 level. If we get a close above that, the next higher targets are 1257, followed by 1266, followed by 1278. That was what we'll be watching for. If we do get a close below the 21, those levels are off the table and we will go to reevaluate, and we could have a potential short trade if we get a close below that trend line, but we'll update that closer because we'll have to look at targets then closer to when that could happen. Silver ran up to the 75% key gain level here and is pulling back to prior resistance becoming support. Also, we have the rising 8 in here, and we don't have a trend line redraw. So we have a lot of support in here, and this is actually held up even better than gold. If we turn back higher again, we're looking at about the 1814, 1820 level. Then we have another longer-term trend line coming in and a possible full target price of around 1834. It's a quick silver update. And copper. Copper, we had a potential head and shoulders way back when and a potential massive double on a weekly basis, which now we have another top come in. So that's nothing we're going to be looking at. It broke above a key defining point on this very close to horizontal trend line, ran up. The next target on that was 1280, which was already hit. If it continues higher, it's left behind a nice long wick. You could see this pull back because it's overextended from the rotation zone, which would have to give it time to catch up. So watch for a lot of support back around this 274 level. If it does continue higher, next targets are 283 and 286. That's all I have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Mike. One last thing on the copper supply issue. There is another miner, Glencore, which is a Swiss-based company, that closed a mine about a year ago in the Republic of Congo. All right, you may hear sort of rumors about that mine reopening. It's called Katanga. And they closed that in September of 2015 for a $1 billion renovation. That is not scheduled to reopen until later this year. And I think you'll hear rumblings of the strike being settled before that happens. But if you hear rumblings of Glencore and their increased production, that is not scheduled for quite a while. Thanks, guys. Money Path Podcast. is up on our site, pathtradingpartners.com. You can type in the Money Path Podcast into iTunes, and you'll find it there as well. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, pathtradingpartners.com. Shoot us an email at support@pathtradingpartners.com. Cheers, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.